back into racing we go with the DOE Formula V, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel, joining partners that are really involved in this series, along with First Race, Dunlop and ATS. And we managed to catch up with some of the new sponsors, find out what their involvement is all about here with Formula V.
So we've got the DOE Formula V's out on track next, and they've picked up new sponsors for 2023, which is great news indeed. Heinrich from CIM Lubrifuels. Just tell us, first of all, why get involved with motorsport like this?
Wel, ons het so 2 jaar terug het ons die Formula V het ons hierso gesien en toe wil ons het gesien dis 'n lekker community en toe wil ons betrokke raak met dit. En toe kry ons een van die ouens en toe wil ons begin met die sponsorship vir Eric.
Well, it's pretty reasonable because obviously, as you say, a friendly bunch.
Yeah.
Marshall, are they friendly to you, by the way, from DOE and Start My Car?
Yeah, definitely. We've been here a couple of years, so it's great to be back for the next season.
Just tell us what is DOE and Start My Car.
So, DOE is just one of our brands, distributing quality parts, obviously, as it is in the name. Start My Car is an online platform that also distributes car parts.
Which is like the Dunlop cars are guaranteed, aren't they, Joe?
Absolutely, that would be a nice start.
Tell us about Dunlop's involvement, because I see it's grown enormously in motorsport this year. I see Heinz is everywhere behind the scenes. Just tell us what's going on.
Yeah, Dunlop is very involved in motorsport. We are grabbing different races inch by inch. We're now up to 8 races, so we are sponsoring 8 different races, both in the regionals and nationals. We put a lot of effort behind it. We've introduced our Sport Max range in the Dunlop product, and we hope to continue with that as we go along. So please, everybody, come and join us.
Well, great for you guys to get involved. We wish you all of the very best. And of course, you're going to sell millions of product directly from this. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly will, especially with this class. This is a very, very competitive category. Always like to tout it as the 600 cc's of four-wheel racing, because the action is usually bar to bar, wheel to wheel, and if they had handlebars, they would definitely be in the hands of the right people. Multiple SA champion and current reigning champion in this class, Peter Hill, starts from 8th place on the grid. Didn't quite have this qualifying he wanted this morning, but definitely going to be in for a bit of a run for his money now as they get into things for the first time in DOE Formula V, partnered with CIM Lubrifuel. As you can hear from the new sponsors, they're all happy with the performance of these guys, and of course the relationships that are always built with this kind of category. It is fantastic to see. Jacco Schricks makes a welcome return and puts it straight onto pole alongside Lendl Janssen, who'll be looking to remedy just losing out on that championship in 2022. MD Bester and Brandon Hills are your second row as we're under 5-second board. We're about to go racing. Watch out for Watt and van der Linde coming from that 4th row of the grid as they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. Great start from Theo Vermaak in that mid-pack. He tried to dive through there and find a way through on Siep de Toy. Looks like he might have just got the drop there on Siep as they go through there. Good start from out of the 99 machines here. Ernie Vermaak as they head towards turn 2. Out front though, Jacco Schricks hangs on. Lendl Janssen tucks in there. He's moved up into 2nd place. Exactly where he started on the grid, but now trying to get away from the likes of MD Bester and from Brandon Hills. Eric Booyens just behind that. Then it's Kyle Watt and Sean van der Linde as they came out of turn 2. Watch out in the background for a couple of changes. A couple of new liveries out there as well, which you're going to be watching out for. And fantastic to see that that long-standing relationship now has brought on a couple more sponsors for this very, very competitive category. Big welcome there to CIM Lubrifuel, and a big welcome back to First Race, Dunlop and ATS, and of course DOE Start My Car. This is how things start in race 1 of 2023, and already a change up by turn 5 in the lead. We see Lendl Janssen smoothing his way through there for Will Security and the Silver Oaks Volkswagen dealership. He now leads out over Cubed Coatings PTY Limited car there of Jacco Schricks. The guys are racing behind that in the hands of MD Bester and Brandon Hills. Hills now starting to get under a bit of pressure there from Eric Booyens. Kyle Watt in the mix as well. Good start there from Watt. In fact, a much better start from Watt than I expected. Squeezing through and possibly putting the pressure on right from the word go. Another good move there as well, just in that mid-pack. Jumping and changing between a couple of drivers, watching for the progress of Peter Hills. Lendl Janssen on the first lap, quickest car out there. understandably, 113.4, 113.8 out of Shricks, 14.2 and a 14.3 out of Besta and Hills. That's how those first four go through there. MD Besta with some new livery on that car, as you can see there, the bright yellow machine. 112 flying there. Of course, there's Marcel Bluchnoot and Roy Douglas in their usual battle. There's a great little one between the two of them, some tussles as they try and close the gap down on CF Totoy, just up the road from them. Speaking of trying to close the gap, there's the shutting of the door there, coming out of 84 car of MD Besta. For a chance now. Background from him was the 4 car of Brandon Hills. Brandon Hills, in fact, in that yellow car, beg your pardon, not MD. So Brandon Hills in the all yellow livery. He goes through, they've got to get used to this new livery for the first time out. Get used to that first time again for the second one. Guys are racing boys using the new cars. So as you can see there from Brandon's point of view, he's playing around with a couple of new options. The number 1 car there coming out of turn number 2 is our current champion, Peter Hills, who currently sits down in 7th, just ahead of Van der Linde. Sean Van der Linde in the bright green and pink machine. Very similar to what the helmet design of old Eddie Irvine was, with that sort of Irish lime green and pink. Turn 4 towards the top of the hill. This is where you see possible changes as Brandon has a look. MD sees him coming and shuts the door, doesn't allow him through. So let's see if he's able to make a move here into turn 6. No, does another look into turn 6. We can't quite get there. So the 2 teammates fighting for 3rd place on the track at the moment, with Boyens just behind them. Boyens actually closing that gap down slightly, so he could join the party. And that's the 3rd pack of cars led out by Peter Hills at this stage as they complete another lap. Lap as well, so it's a slightly longer race than what we've seen from the other competitors here today. We're heading to a couple more of the 8-lap race competitors just after this, starting with Car Care Clinics, Triple Ones and GT Sports and Saloons. Until that happens, we've still got 9 of these laps to be completed for Formula V. Back straight, first 4, evenly matched. So no changing just yet. 6-7 battle is also looking pretty good at this point in time. The 75 car slowly but surely closing onto the back end there. Carl Watt and Peter Hills at this stage. Keeping them honest as they head towards the top of the hill. 11 dead there for Peter Hills in the last pass, 11-7 for Carl Watt, but he has closed that gap down. Also joined the Mangaza Racing stable for 2023 by the looks of the colours on the side of that car. It's always nice to see as well from a team point of view, getting a bunch of guys together that are in the same kind of racing field and racing zone. Peter Hills got to pull away ever so slightly now from that back zone and leaving Carl Watt in the clutches of Van der Linde as he tries to bridge onto the back end there of Eric Boyens. Boyens just up the road from him. He's not too far behind the back end of Brandon Hills. 1.2 seconds, about half a second back now has Boyens on that first 4. If you can get Peter Hills to join him, the two of them could try and work together to try and bridge the gap to these first 4 out front. Still led out by Lennel Janssen. That Bull Securities and Silver Oaks Volkswagen dealership Formula V leads out over the Cube Coatings car. And it's Mangaza Racing squared behind that. Boyens for the CIM Lubrifuel machine. He's sitting currently, as we saw there, in the 5 spot. As I said, he's bridged about half a second on those first 4. So maybe just a little easing of the pace here from Lennel Janssen. Everybody not quite prepared to show their cards just yet. Shricks waiting in the sidelines there, only 0.19 of a second off the leader as they complete another one. 5 done, 7 to go. Janssen from Shricks, Besta, Hills, Boyens, Peter Hills. Also Pete closing that gap down to within a second now on Eric Boyens. So looks like the multiple champion is certainly looking for a chance to close that gap down even more. Possibly bring himself back into the top 5. In this championship, of course, consistency is key. It really is important to have consistent finishes all the time. Only for Mark now, with a bit of pressure coming from Yanni Geisa. There in the 64 car, ahead of David Austin and Jaco Smit. Helder Gavea at the back. Blaine de Mailon had some problems, and so did Trevor Hills initially. Quite sure if Trevor Hills is here this weekend though. I don't think he is, only Helder Gavea. So those two other cars that are on our timing monitor not here this weekend. 7 car is Theo Vermaak. A bit of pressure there from the 190 of CF Du Toit. Behind that, Marcel Blichnout, Roy Douglas and Ernie Vermaak. That's how they are lining up as they come down towards G&H Transport Corner. 112 machine. Blichnout looking for a way through. CF Du Toit is going to have his wits about him. There's a bit more pressure coming from the back end there. You can see from the Montpellier Racing colored machine. Something stand on the left hand side. Janssen from Schricks, Pester from Hills. Hills quickest at the moment. Head of Boyens and Peter Hills with Van der Linde, Carl Watt and Vermaak. CF Du Toit into the top 10. So this is the first 3 heading up towards turn 5, and this is where it's getting a little bit more interesting. Bit more pressure coming from MD Bester to try and find a way through on Jaco Schricks. Schricks soaking that pressure up, but applying just as much of his own onto the back end of Lendl Janssen. Some pretty awesome stuff as they come out of this one. Raymer's leading this pack. You can see from the chassis there of those cars, all Raymer 2 chassis on the first couple of cars on track. Completing 7 of the 12, 5 to go. Things starting to get a little bit more interesting in the front 10. Peter Hills also has bridged that gap even more. Come down, yeah, it's about half a second now onto the back end of Eric Boyens. So Boyens, I think he's realised it. In fact, if I look at the timing monitor, Eric Boyens has turned the wick up slightly there to pull about another 0.2 out on the Hills. Oh, change up for the lead possibility. Oh, massive moment into turn 4. Huge moment into turn 4. Schricks went on the inside of Lendl Janssen, and Lendl Janssen clipped the back end. It was Jaco Schricks' front left and Lendl Janssen's back right that touched. And in single seaters with open wheels, you are definitely going to have a massive moment like that if there is a touch. Cars behind must have had their hearts in their mouths, because both of them would have seen that up close and personal. MD Bester and Brandon Hills very much way into the effects here of that maneuver into turn 4. But 2 or 3 rolls there coming out of the man. The safety car being deployed. Safety car being deployed there, understandably. I think even MD Bester realized there was going to be something like a safety car. He was right in front, or right behind, I should say, that incident into turn 4. Let's have a look at this. Red flag has been called. There you go. Jaco Schricks into turn 4. He has a look. Lendl Janssen takes his normal line and then gets flipped over. And that's once, twice, 3 times, 4 times that car rolls, end over end and side by side. And let's hope that everything is okay there from Lendl Janssen's point of view. That was a big moment and a big crash out of turn 4 there for Lendl Janssen after being tagged on the inside. Just looking for the inside line there, Jaco Schricks had a go. And a massive, massive moment there between the two of them. Schricks ending up in the barriers as well after that incident. But the man who came off worse for wear there was Lendl Janssen, that is for sure. Lendl Janssen with a tag on the back and flipping the car over completely, end over end, about 3.5 to 4 times. And that is not what you want to be seeing in single-seater racing. A massive moment there from our Formula Vs. So we'll give an opportunity for our marshals and, of course, more importantly, the medical team who are on site to get onto Lendl Janssen and make sure he's okay. And once we get confirmation of that, of course, we'll bring that to you. But that was a big moment there for our first outing for 2023 in the DOE Formula Vs, partnered with CIM Lubrifuel. Cars coming across the line there. That, of course, will be Helder Gavea. He'll be making his way around, and well, they were under safety car initially, and then the red flag was called for. And that red flag means the race will be taken 1 lap back. And if that's the way we've done it, then it'll be 7 of 12. Not enough. No, not enough, unfortunately. They will have to come around and resume. One of the biggest moments I've seen, that's for sure, in Formula V's in a long time there between those two. The safety car is just going to bring them to the line. They're going to line up in their positions as they stood on that last lap. So it's going to give them opportunity there, of course, to get the cars back onto the grid. Lendl Janssen's out the car. That is always a good thing to see. And the first man, I think, to get to him would probably have been Jaco Schricks, having realized that was a massive tag between the two of them. Janssen there in the black suit with the black helmet, and the white helmet is Jaco Schricks in the sort of blue and white suit. But that Bull Securities and Silver Lakes Volkswagen Formula V definitely worse for wear. And that is always good to see the driver out of the car, helmets off, and chatting to Donovan and Hunley, our medical team here at Swartkops. And we wish him a speedy recovery. He's certainly going to feel the effects of that one tomorrow morning, that I can tell you. You don't roll a Formula V without feeling a little bit worse for wear, and that was a huge moment out of turn 4. So if you have just joined us here at Swartkops, reason for the red flag is there is the remnants of the Bull Securities and Silver Lakes Formula V, and of course the cubed coatings PTY Limited car also involved in that one. But a massive moment into turn 4 coming into the closing stage. We're into the sort of latter part of the second third of the race, and there's the touch between the inside of Jaco Schricks and turning onto his normal line, the Bull Security car of Lennell Janssen. A massive moment flying through the air there, end over end 4.5 times, and eventually ending up on its back with Lennell Janssen still in the cockpit. But as we saw a little bit later after that, both drivers out of the car and walking away pretty much unscathed. There's probably going to be some sore body parts, I'm sure, on those two. And those two are definitely going to feel it, that is for sure. Maybe not Schricks as much as what Lennell Janssen will be feeling, but they're both very seasoned campaigners when it comes to this class, and definitely going to be looking for a chance now to make up some ground. And also says a huge amount, as I said, from the point of the chassis build of those cars. Those Rayma 2 chassis, very well built, and the safety cell in that car has certainly saved Lennell Janssen from a lot worse for wear than what he could have walked away with there. Looks like Jaco Schmidt taking a little bit of time to get back to the grid. I think he may have had an incident somewhere else on track in the Start My Car. Trying to get through all the way back in time, possibly for the restart. They are going to restart this one because 7 of 12 wouldn't give them the right amount of laps to be completed, but there's still a lot of work being done by the marshals to extricate those two cars onto the back end of Big Max by the looks of things. He's down there to help get those cars out of harm's way so we can restart race 1 of the Formula Vs. So you've joined us back here for start 2 of DOE Formula V's, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel. Looks like Helder Gavea getting a little bit of assistance from the assistant COC there. Trying to get that car started and get it ready for the restart now after a big incident in turn 4 between Jaco Schricks and Daniel Janssen. Both drivers okay, walked away from the incident. It's always a good thing to see. And now they're going to come under starters orders for a restart here for the first part of this proceedings. This is round 1 of the regional extreme festivals, and it's round 1 of the Formula V Championship for 2023. And already massive action in this one amongst the competitors. Start delay just to get Gavea's car fired up. He's just battling to get it going, or has he got it going now? Looks like it has. Yeah, it has fired up now. They can just put him into his grid position, and then we can go into the start procedures. Oh, looks like problems at the front as well. Is that Brandon Hills? Brandon Hills with some problems as well. He's waving and gesticulating, saying that it looks like it might be overcooked the motor. There's definitely some steam coming out of that engine hood. And maybe just sitting on the grid for such a long time might have just caused him to overheat. Looks like there's a bit of a problem there for Brandon Hills. Marshall coming back and forth there from him. I'm not quite sure if we can get it started. The start is delayed again for this one. And now running across there to have a check and see. It might be Peter Hills who's got some problems as well, right behind his son Brandon. A couple of guys running across there to see if they can help. Looks like he may have stalled his car as well. Might be an option to just give them a warm-up lap and restart this one. They're pulling the champion off the grid to try and get him fired up. We're going to run him down the middle just to see if they can bump start that car. If they can bump start that car, then should be able to go and hopefully get this thing sorted out. There we go, it's fired up. Pete slots in behind Brandon. Have we got starters orders now? Yes, we do. 30-second board is up. The red flag's about to move out the way, and we're about to go racing for the second time here for race 1 in the DOE Formula V's, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel. Here we go. Well, it doesn't look like there's any problems for Brandon's car, even though it looked like it was overheating slightly. Maybe he just needed to get it fired up, and he got it fired up, and they're all fired up now into turn 1. Trying to get through there as clean as possible as they head towards turn 2. It is MD Bester who leads out over Brandon Hills. Peter Hills in 3rd. Van der Linde slots up into 4th place, just ahead there of Eric Boyens by the looks of it. So a bit of manoeuvring there through the pack, and a couple of guys who have capitalized on that incident between the two cars at turn 4. They've definitely been able to use that to their advantage, particularly Van der Linde, who's up to 4th. MD Bester under pressure from his teammate almost instantaneously. Then it's Boyens. And is that Jaco Schricks coming through at the back end? I can see him. No. Yes, it is. That's Jaco Schricks. That is definitely Jaco Schricks at the back. He had to start from the back of the pack, even though he was involved in the incident. So he was able to get back onto the grid, which has definitely helped him out here. You want to try and ensure that he gets through to the front end. Our director today is definitely on fire. He's picking up on the fact that Jaco Schricks has restarted. Only he would have seen that. No one else. Here they come. Onto the brakes for turn 8. GNH Transport corner. Boyens on the inside of Van der Linde. Oh, Helder Gavea parked on the sideline. We did see him having a problem on the grid though, so fortunately looks like Gavea's day might be ended up there on the side of the exit of turn 2. As they come towards turn 2, the pack. Hill's already putting pressure onto the back end of his 2 stable mates there from Mangaza Racing. Van der Linde had a big look. A bad effort there from him, that is for sure, as they go into turn 2. He's definitely looking to try and get all 4 Mangaza cars up into the top 5 if he can. That's how hard he's pushing. Behind that, Theo Vermaak hangs on. He's got Carl Watt just ahead of him, and he's got Marcel Blucknote right on his tail. Watt, of course, is the 4th of those Mangaza Racing cars. You can see a little bit of a gap that's opened up there between Theo, but no gap between himself and Marcel Blucknote right on his tail. Here comes Schricks, diving on the inside of the incident corner at turn 4, and now onto the back end of Yannick Geyser. So he's just outside of the 14th car. So having a look on the inside of Yannick Geyser now, under braking. Will he be able to outgun Geyser? No, not this time. Geyser keeps him honest into turn 5. Ernie Vermaak makes up 1 position, getting through there on Roy Douglas. Now you can see slightly shaken but not stirred man there Jaco Schricks trying to make his way to the front as quickly as possible. There's a big move. Great move, in fact, coming out of Marcel Bluchnout, getting through there on Theo Vermaak. Vermaak losing out there ever so slightly into turn 8, GNA transport corner, and in fact, he may lose out a second position though. He goes defensive. Just able to maintain the lead over CF Toy. CF Toy had a look, but he wasn't able to make it stick. Just behind that, Roy Douglas now joins the party. Got 4 cars fighting for honours for what is now 8th place on track. This was a 5-lapper, so we got 4 to go. They complete the first lap in anger there of the restart. MD Bester from Brandon Hills from Peter Hills. Behind that, Eric Boynes has joined the party. In fact, Boynes putting pressure onto the back end there of Peter Hills, looking almost instantaneously to go on the attack now that he's got onto the back end. Hills goes defensive on the inside line into turn 5, forces Boynes wide. Going to keep him wide and honest, and will Boynes be able to drive around his outside? Yes, he will. Wow, that is incredible stuff there. That is a super bit of running there from the CIM Lubrifuel car, getting up into 3rd place. So showing that not only his sponsors can sponsor his own car, but also now join the main sponsors of the Series 2 with Boyens, quickest on track on the last lap. Could be quickest on this one as well. As they complete another lap in anger, we've got 2 to go, and it's MD Bester from Brandon Hill. Eric Boyens, quickest car on the circuit at the moment. Only lapping down in the 1:10.3s, and he's bridged the gap now onto 2nd and 3rd place now that he's dispensed of Peter Hills into 4th. Watch out for Van der Linde, under a bit of pressure there from Kyle Watt. Kyle Watt certainly wants to put the 3rd of the Mangaza Racing cars into that top 5. Looks like they've just a little bit of ground there, as I said. Kyle Watt, Van der Linde fighting in the background. Here comes Peter Hills and Brandon Hills onto the back end of some back markers now. Interesting stuff as they came through there. Boyens now looking for a chance to pounce on Brandon Hills. Brandon Hills goes defensive up towards turn 5. We saw Boyens' ability on the outside of turn 5. Oh, he stays there. Stays on the outside of turn 5 and makes a stick in a second. So he can pass around the outside into turn 5 and into turn 6. Certainly getting the maximum grip out of those Dunlops, that is for sure. Now down onto the brakes. Oh, and he slides it into turn 8. Boyens, that is proper good shot there. Getting it absolutely lit on the front end, and the back end stepped out. He caught it. But Brandon Hills nearly made him pay. If he wasn't on the inside line, Hills would have stuck up the inside and got through on him. Hills going to try and use it now to his advantage down into turn 2. Brandon Hills on the back end of Eric Boyens, putting the pressure on, returning the favour as soon as he can. Peter Hills has now joined the party because they've slowed each other up ever so slightly. So it's allowed that concertina effect on the first 4. Van der Linde still hangs on just behind that and keeps out Kyle Watt. Here they come onto the back straight away. Fanning out, looking for a chance to squeeze through. Can they find a way? No, they can't. MD Bester looking for the first victory of the season if he can hang on here for a little bit longer. Boyens wants it though. Can you imagine if Eric Boyens wins this one? New sponsor coming to the series, and their car is about to take a victory here. We saw him around the outside. This time the door's shut though. MD Bester realizes he's got the chance to win this one. But Eric Boyens wants it probably more than anybody else as he goes around the outside looking for a way through. He comes on the inside line now down towards GNH Transport Corner. There are 4 cars in it. Any one of them can win it. MD Bester late on the brakes down into GNH Transport Corner. He's going to hang on only just. Mangaza Racing are going to take this one. CIM Lubrifuel are going to come through for second with Boyens at the wheel. And it's Brandon Hills just behind that. What a dice. Peter Hills side by side, almost with his son across the line there. And the rest of the pack coming through to wrap up the first race of the day here for DOE Formula V, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel with first race, ATS and Dunlop on board. What a way to start the season, guys. That's the way to do it. DOE Formula V, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel. Well, we've had some action of note in the single-seaters. And expecting more of the same later on. There's confirmation of the unofficial results right now. MD Bester from Boyens, Hills and Hills. Van der Linde beats out Kyle Watt with Schricks, Theo Vermaak and CF de Toy, just beating out Marcel Bluchnout, who remains in the top 10. Douglas and Ernie Vermaak, and then Clinton Kane and Yanni Geisa at the back end.
We had a very interesting race. It's unfortunate what happened with Jaco and Lendl. We don't ever want to see that actually happen again, so I really hope Lendl's fine. Then going out again, it was great fun, great close racing again with the likes of MDA. Congratulations teams on your first victory, man. What a champion, you deserve it. But yeah, we go for heat number 2 again.
The race was amazing, my first podium. Almost took the win. Last lap, turn 5, yellow flag, so I couldn't overtake him. But I mean, MDA did an amazing job, but P2 is amazing. I'm super chuffed.
Bit of a hectic race. The 2 lead guys went out. Hope Lendl's fine. It seems like he's okay. And then we had a hectic restart, 5 laps, managed to keep off the rest. So awesome day, first win.